Welcome to Rainbow Soul Vodcast, where our Soulstrology comes forward to help you manage your everyday life, with forecasts and deep dives on natal charts and queer perspectives on the planets, transits, and more. A group discussion about upcoming transits with tips on how to read these transits in your own chart. Hollis offers years of wisdom and natal chart knowledge with Bright Hawk's positive perspective and LeKross's inquiry. We offer the complete queer astrology experience. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Please help us by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and reviewing. You can also learn where else Rainbow Soul is offered on our website at RainbowSoul.show.
Hey there, welcome to Rainbow Soul Soulstrology Forecast. I'm glad you're here. And this week we will be talking about March 13th through the 19th. And I'm Hollis Taylor, and I'm one of your astrologers. I have been doing astrology for a long time, and I'm not only I do natal chart readings and death chart. I tend to focus in on death and astrology, as well as synastry. And I recently released a class called Master Astrology. It's a master class for astrology. So if you're a beginner and you want to learn astrology, you want to know how to read your chart, you want to at least have a better clarity when I'm doing these forecasts, and other people doing Western astrology, this class is what you need. It's five class downloads that Bright Hawk and I taught, along with the PDF that goes along with that and cheat sheets, as well as 2 private coaching sessions where you can ask me whatever you want. Okay? And so that's on my website, and you can find the link to my description down below. It's in my digital shop. Okay? But it's called a masterclass. And
hi there, I'm Bright Hawk, and I just want to say astrology is such a great gift for yourself.
it is.
For helping you navigate the world. And I've been blessed to study with Hollis. Alongside Hollis, we've studied with a number of different teachers, and it's been such a blessing to know how to surf the times we're in, because we clearly chose these times, so let's make the most of it. I am an artist, an author, an astrologer, and musician, and you can learn more about me at brighthawkproductions.com. And
I'm LeKross Ortiz, professional student here, still trying to learn. Slow and steady
Maybe
wins
you
the
should
race.
take the master class, LeKross.
Yeah, right? I think I'm going to need to do that.
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I do have something. It's coming out. It was supposed to launch last week. Didn't happen. Work got crazy. So hopefully this week something I'll be able to launch.
Okay. Mercury's in retrograde. You want to wait till it gets out of there, man.
True, 100%. So maybe that's why I have to revisit what I'm trying to do here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect time to do that.
Awesome. Great. So you can find LeKross's links in the description as well as Bright Hawk's. Okay. Yeah. So all right, my friends. I want to invite you to take a minute to sit quietly in your seat. Try to relax, try to sit still, try to put your feet on the floor. Take a couple deep breaths. And as you become present in your body, feel your feet on the floor. Imagine yourself just looking up and taking in the beautiful night sky with stars as far as you can see. The moon, just a large crescent there. shining just a little bit of light down. And as you're staring up into the beautiful stars, there seems to be a very fast planet coming out of the stars directly towards you. And as this planet is in front of you, you can see that it's spinning around real fast. And this planet symbol reminds you of the non-binary symbol because it is the symbol of Mercury. Mercury, in its speed, it is the messenger of spirit. And right now, it's coming out of the dark shadows and into the light of Taurus, happily moving along, preparing to gather your messages, to enhance communication, to make connections across the internet, and to deliver the messages of spirit, ruling all things that have anything to do with communication, ruling the internet, transportation, and if you had to give it a gender, it would certainly be both, or maybe neither. And Mercury flying forward, pushing your projects forward, helping you to make the connections, to communicate with whomever you need. And as you're going forward, Mercury leads the way, delivering messages to you and carrying your messages forward, carrying this podcast out to you. Mercury rules all types of talk and communication. When Mercury is in Taurus, it wants to tell you what it loves. It wants to tell you what inspires its heart, what is intimately within it, and how they hold the beauty in life and all the wonderful things in life. And Mercury holds on to the love of beautiful food, of delicious, of all things luxurious, delivering to you messages on how to get those things, how to bring beauty and love into your life, how to enhance your life with the things you love. Open and welcome Mercury to deliver the messages in the back of your mind during meditations, during yoga, during quiet walks in the forest, while you're doing the dishes, Mercury wants to quietly deliver those messages to you and show you how to live a beautiful, gifted life. Those messages can come in the form of a thought in the back of your mind while listening to a talk show, while listening to a friend, or even from the mouth of a babe. Stay open, because Mercury's on their way. And as Mercury takes off for the light in Taurus, away from the shadow, you are reminded that Mercury is in play even when it's not in retrograde. And now that it's out of its shadow, it will deliver the messages to you as clear and concise as you need them. And as Mercury returns to the sky, you can be grateful to be open to those messages. Sky fills up your view. You can relax back in your seat. Feel your feet on the floor and come back into the here and now, into your present, into your feet on the floor, your bottom in the seat. Encourage you to wiggle your toes, stretch your fingers, open your eyes, and come back into the here and now. Well done. Well done, Bright Hawk.
Thank you, likewise. Nice to feel Mercury in its...
Right, and nice to talk about Mercury when it's not doing something that irritates people. When they're actually doing what they do most of the time, which is bring messages in. So, you know.
And remember, Mercury is Virgo's ruler, so those of you who have Virgo in
and Gemini.
Sun, Moon, or Rising.
Virgo and Gemini.
Oh, and Gemini. It also rules Gemini, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I always find fascinating that it has two that it's in charge of, or rules, you know.
It could probably handle it because it's super fast.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gemini is a quick thinker, you know, air sign, fast. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll probably feel it if you have strong Virgo or Gemini placements. Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising.
You'll feel like you can take off. You can feel like you can finally do things. So, you know, LeKross, your podcast will probably go better on this week. It'd probably be easier for you to do. Even if you weren't even if you didn't have Virgo strengths, it still would.
Well, I got a Virgo rising, so hopefully.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
You'll now have wind in your sails going in the direction of your dream.
I think that's the trick of like Virgos and Geminis. If you can follow Mercury's path, which is super fast, that that's a good way to like launch things or deliver messages or ask for things. Yeah, it's a good sort of thing to follow along. Sort of like Cancers should follow their moon. Anyone with a strong Cancer placement should follow the moon.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah.
If you have sun, moon, or rising in Cancer, you should have a moon app.
Yeah, you should
It's
know.
moving every several days,
Mhm.
and this week is interesting. I'm learning so much about tracking the moon, and
Now that you're doing the void
seeing,
moon
yeah,
thing.
seeing when
Mhm.
the void of course happens. Because there's a lot of things in astrology where most of the time it behaves like this, like 90 whatever percentage, and then there's those little times where you're like, whoa, where instead of it's 2 hours, it's 14 hours or something. So we have one of those this week. It'll be fun to show you in the chart. We'll get to it in a minute.
All right, well, let's get started then. Here we are. So, of course, this is for the week of May 13th through the 19th. So, there we go. This is for May 13th through the 19th. And, well, I noticed we still got a party going on up there now with Uranus, Jupiter, and the Sun. Venus is going to join them soon, but with Uranus there and the Sun conjunct, anytime the Sun is on something, it kind of amplifies that energy. So surprises could very well happen. The good news is that Uranus and the Sun, are in Taurus. So I think it will depend on what Taurus is in your chart. So you should probably look at what house is Taurus, and that'll give you a good idea of where the surprises could show up. But that's about all I can tell you. It'll be surprises, and they'll probably be big because Jupiter is still influencing it there.
Big time.
And so, that's been going on for a while. So if you haven't had any surprises, I'm surprised. Most of us have had some sort of surprises. I know that Bright Hawk and I have had a variety of strange surprises.
And some good ones.
Yeah, they're not all bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing our books or whatever and realized this company had overcharged me. They had charged for something they said they didn't charge, which was per transaction. And then I went back and said, okay, well, if I'm going to do my books, I need to know where can I download this? And it says here that you don't even charge those. And why did you charge them? And they investigated and came back and said, oops, we'll refund ya. So I'm just saying, surprises. That's a surprise. I didn't expect to see it. I tried to resolve it, and it was in Taurus, so it was money. So money surprises, great news. There's been a couple of those surprises. I think.
And I had a similar story of, questioning. I'm just trying to understand this. Can you explain it to me? And lo and behold, oops, we overcharged you. Here's some money back. So it pays to ask. Hoping that you all have delightful surprises. And
Taurus does rule money. It's
Yeah.
one of the money signs, I would say.
Right.
Taurus and Capricorn, they both rule money.
Venus.
Yeah, because, Venus, Capricorn's more like the work you do to get money. And Taurus is more like the money that is luxuriously coming to you. So.
And knowing just exactly what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know where we should go.
Usually people with strong Taurus placements are pretty good at managing their money. And so same goes for Capricorns.
Oh, good.
So there's that. There's a lot going on in Taurus right now. With the Sun there, it's just amplifying that energy. So I'm going to say on this week, there could be some more surprises. So, you might it might be worth taking a look at your astrology chart and seeing where Taurus is. What piece of the pie is it? That's what you're looking for. That's how you tell the house. What piece of the pie is it? What number is it there? And then you can really just look up what is the meaning of the 10th house? What is the meaning of the 5th house? And then that will tell you where the surprises will probably be.
This is why it's so important to know what time you were born, because everything about the houses has everything to do with the preciseness of knowing that time.
Yeah.
And Hollis is pretty amazing at being able to what we call rectify someone's chart. If someone doesn't know what time, a really good astrologer can help figure out based on certain factors and asking a number of questions to the person, and you can get there. You can go, okay, well, based on what you've told me and how you look, it's interesting. Look has something to do with it.
It does, because the first house.
Yeah. And so it'll tell you what's on that rising, and that'll tell you where your house placements are. Really vital information. And once you know that, it's like you've unlocked a key to the magic kingdom.
Yeah, so you can find your rising sign. It's on the left-hand side, and it's that first house there. It rules the first house because it's that line on the left with the arrow pointing left there. If you don't know your time and you change the time, you'll see that that circle will move around, move around, move around. And so that's pretty much what I do, and I try to look at your face and see the way it's shaped and your overall look and maybe even what your body's shaped like. And that will give me a good idea of what you might be rising. And isn't it interesting that both Brighthawk and LeKross are Virgo risings, and they both have a fairly thin body frame. So I'm just saying, somebody that's a little bit more stocky might have something like Cancer or Taurus. And then we can start narrowing it down there, you see? So we can start narrowing it down to 2 or 3 signs. And then Leo rising is probably going to have something about their hair. It's going to be big. They're going to love their hair. So, so it's just going to be different things like that. Scorpio risings often have a darker complexion, darker hair. They might have darker facial. Either way, their face will be very balanced. And regardless of their body size, they'll probably be fairly attractive. So it's like that kind of thing. And then you start to ask other questions. You start to ask other things. So, and then you look at where the planets are falling, and oh, well, this would mean that the moon would land on their rising. So then they must be very emotionally driven, intuitively driven. So stuff like that, and you can ask some questions. And
the easiest one, you've heard of people describe someone as a moon face,
Yeah,
my dad was a Cancer, and he very much had a little moon cherub face,
Yeah, my son's a Cancer rising, and he has the very moon face with a big moon smile, whereas the smile almost looks like a crescent moon. So you're just like, wow, okay, this is so weird. You can't make this stuff up. This is a funny thing. It's a funny thing. Yeah, so that's how you rectify a chart. And then you also check in with Saturn. That can also help you know. So, yeah, so, you want to know what house things are in. That tells you what part of your life that planet will affect. And if you have anything in Taurus, that will also flavor it for you. And then this is why Astrology 101 is important, because knowing the rulership of the sign will also help you. So you want to look and see where is Venus. And that will also help you. Now, Venus here will be up in Taurus, which is a very strong placement and rules money because Venus rules Taurus. Now, where is Venus in your chart? And that will also flavor this because it's Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So that will also flavor your surprises, okay? And because Venus rules Taurus and it's very much about money, it probably will have something to do with finances. Okay? And it could be good things, could absolutely be good things. Doesn't have to be bad. Please don't assume it's going to be bad. And Brighthawk even has Taurus in the 8th house. And it's not, and it hasn't been, like, she hasn't been being tortured or anything with all that stuff going on in the 8th house.
No.
And the 8th house is shadowy, and stuff
and I've
like
had a
that.
Jupiter return actually, and
Hmm.
yeah, so far so good.
Right, and her Jupiter's even retrograde, so it's don't judge it based on that. Don't judge it based on just if it's in the 8th house. It might have to do with other people's money.
Well,
See that?
what I like about this guy is that there's a cradle, and whenever there's a cradle, I always think the universe has got your back. The universe is holding you, just like a babe, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And it involves the moon, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Mars, Pluto. I mean that whole little crowd that's there, um, that creates a cradle. And so when we start off the day, the moon is in Cancer, its home sign. And, that's of course cardinal water. And then it goes void and this is one of those, there's a bunch of void, of course, moons when we're sleeping in the middle of the night. Of course, it's mountain time, so adjust for your area.
Well, maybe it won't be so much heavy dreaming. That could be good to know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, void of course moons mean it's the quiet time when the moon is quiet. The emotional time is quiet. It is a great time for self-care. It's not a time for trying to launch something. There's not a lot of energy in the moon.
And if you're one of those people that gets a lot of dreams and you have a hard time sleeping because of those dreams, this would probably be a good night to try to get a good night's sleep.
Ah, interesting. Fascinating, because many of us are affected by full moons. We don't sleep great a lot of times. And so interesting. I hadn't thought about void of course moons being great for great sleep, but
sometimes my psyche decides to spend way too much time on one subject in a dream. I don't know how many times that's happened to somebody where you repeat the same dream like all night long, and then you wake up and you're like, did I sleep? Right? Okay. So, yeah.
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 So at 4:36, it goes into Leo. And of course, Leo is a fire sign. It's a fixed fire sign. And it's ruled by the sun. So the moon is answering to the sun. And it's in a trine to Neptune, Mars. It's in a sextile to Jupiter and the sun, really. So pleasant conversation. It's opposite Pluto, and it creates a T-square to Mercury. So Mercury, when we talk about that, let's just break it down a little bit. Mercury is the facilitator, if you will, and that's great because Mercury is all about communication. So imagine Mercury as the communication facilitator in a conversation with the moon in Leo and opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto is moving retrograde. Very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken, I don't know how many months to move 2 degrees, and now it's going to take I don't know however many months to move 4 degrees, and then it'll come back direct. I think it goes to 28 Capricorn or something like that.
It's barely in Capricorn, just barely by a degree or two.
And then it'll spend the next 20 years in Aquarius. So Pluto, the planet of transformation, in the transformational Aquarius, because Aquarius is a very transformational sign, moving backwards, reviewing, and the moon in Leo. So that's sort of our emotions. How do we feel about it?
All I can think about with this T-square.
Yeah, what do you think about
I'm thinking about people that are trying to connect to, I do a lot of work with people like this. Okay. People that are trying to connect with their loved ones on the other side that have died. Mercury rules that, and so does Pluto, and so does the moon.
So get a reading.
So I'm yeah, we could do a reading, but what would be even better is practicing if you're okay with having some challenges with it. Because so I wouldn't recommend taking a group mediumship class or something like that. And I'd almost recommend for that T-square, I'd wait till Tuesday for that to end. before you take any coaching even with me, because it could be challenging. And what I notice is, because they're also suffering from grief, a small challenge is like
Oof.
insurmountable. So you don't want to put any more challenges on the table.
Oh.
So if you happen to be practicing that, which there could be people listening that are practicing that, because I have a lot of clients that come to me for just that, for personal coaching on how to connect to their spirit guides or their loved ones.
Okay.
And if they're listening to this, then that's what I'm saying, is wait till Tuesday. So if you have a regular practice of trying to connect with your spirit guides or anything on the other side,
Don't get
because
frustrated.
Aquarius is revolutionary, the moon is intuitive, Leo, it's very personal, Leo moon is very personal,
Right?
Mercury Aries is also kind of personal.
Actually, that's my moon. I have
Yeah.
a 0 Leo moon.
I know. So it's a square there. It's a T square. So I'm just saying, like, spiritual communication, it could be okay if you don't have any other challenges going on. So intuition could be challenging, unless you're ready to go. And Aries is kind of a beginning.
That's such a great thing to be able to know. Like, we've all had times where a decision is easy because you have a gut instinct and you're like, great. We've also, I think, all probably had a decision where you're like, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I can't see it. I don't know. Whatever for me, it's visual. If I see it, I know what to do. So to know that's actually the case in the astrology, give yourself a break, sleep on it. Tuesday will be a new day. And
Get a good night's sleep.
And don't worry that you're not something enough. You're enough.
Right. Yeah,
and the stars are telling you, just wait.
It's not that they can't hear you. It's not that you can't hear them. It's just that the communication could be challenging.
That's all. Fascinating.
That's all.
And let us know how it goes. I'll be fascinated if anyone actually works this particular piece.
Yeah. And it could be about any other communication, especially communication related to death or change or transformation or getting started on things. Monday's not really the greatest day. So LeKross, don't start your thing on Monday. Okay. Yeah.
But not to worry, because that cradle will help.
Yeah, it'll get better, because it gets better almost immediately. Because there's two minor trines up there. Those are those little triangles with Pluto, and they're sextiling Neptune in a sextile with Jupiter and the Sun. And all of that together is very much like, your vision going forward, and transformation and what you have to do to get there will come together really easily for you on this day, on Tuesday. It will just kind of happen, especially with like the moon in a trine to Mars and the North Node. So this tells me where you're going is going to come easy. So if you're working on whatever, Tuesday's going to come together pretty easily.
Good. And it's a waxing crescent moon. It's square to Venus. That could be a conversation that's a little challenging in the relationship department, because you have a strong Leo moon that can feel passionately in the fire sign.
Could also be they don't have enough money to do that transformational thing they were just trying to go. Maybe they have to wait till payday or something.
Square Venus, it's
right.
possible. But also beautiful trine to the North Node, Chiron in the North Node, and Mars all hanging out there together in Aries.
It's mostly a really good day, though. Yeah, it's mostly a really good day. So that's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of good things happening for everybody on this day.
Wednesday.
We still have the same minor trines and the same trines to the North Node and even Chiron now. So maybe that action will help us heal. help us believe in ourselves a little bit better. But the bigger thing is that Mercury has moved. Yeah, Mercury moved over into Taurus, which is going to essentially do exactly like the meditation says, which is it's going to help bring the messages of what's beautiful for you, what makes you happy, what fills you up, especially if you ask. So you'll be able to get messages a little bit better, and particularly intuitive, because it looks like Mercury's in a conversation with the moon, right?
Mercury is in Taurus. So the moon is still, it moves from, yeah, exactly. You are right. It moves from Leo into Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So the moon is having a conversation with Mercury for sure. So this was one of the ones that I mentioned at the beginning where I triple checked this because I was like, wow, that's a really long void of course moon. So it start Wednesday. If you have stuff that you do not want, where you're like dreading drama and you don't want drama, that's how you take advantage of a void of course moon, because there's no energy for drama. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. So you could actually use that to your advantage. So the moon will go void at 10:40 in the morning Mountain Time, and all the way until 3:33 in the afternoon the next day.
Oh wow, the next day.
Oh wait, no, this one.
I'm looking at it 3:33. Like, isn't that odd?
No, this one isn't the next day. I think I wrote it down at the end of the week. I think it goes the next day.
Okay.
So, but still, this one is like
That's still a long time.
a long time.
Yeah.
It's not an hour and a half.
Is the
like
moon
the
slowed
ones you've
down?
seen before.
Is the moon slowed down?
No, I think the moon is speeding up because
Oh.
now instead of 2.5 days, it seems closer to 2 days where we're like, boom, we're doing it again? Okay, cool. It goes through Virgo and Libra really quickly. And I was like, wow. So remember, when the moon goes void, it's when it switches from one sign, which Leo, of course, is fire. Now we're going into Virgo, which is earth. You're going from cardinal energy, fixed fire to mutable earth. Very different vibe. No wonder we need a minute to kind of go, okay, we're going into earth, and literally, like, the energy changes. It goes from masculine to feminine. It goes to, from fire to earth, and just a very different vibe, right? And when the moon is in Virgo, remember, Virgo is a problem solver, very grounded, very solution oriented, task oriented, detail oriented, good at being make sure everybody's taken care of,
Focused on their health.
Focused on health,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, and of course, Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Chiron. And
so when the moon moves down into Virgo, 0 degrees Virgo, it's going to be in a trine with Mercury there, in Taurus. So that's a really strong trine, right? Because Virgo is ruled by Mercury.
Yep.
And the moon in a conversation with Mercury. It's going to be like, man, a good time to meditate. Good time to be open to those messages about your health, about even like managing money, because Taurus and Virgo are very good with money.
Good self-care day, because void of course moon is going on in the middle of the day this time, and so great opportunity to do whatever self-care means to you. And
yeah, a lot of Virgo Taurian energy, so that's actually really good. Okay, so it's actually I would say that Wednesday's a pretty good day too. Tuesday and Wednesday both feel like pretty good days to me. And then this is Thursday. Those grand trines are still going on up there, still partying up there, making sure you're following your vision, taking action on those visions, transforming in whatever needs to change within you. Pluto's retrograde. So Pluto's asking you inside, okay, what do you need to change within you that will help you transform and see your vision through? So, and that can sometimes be a difficult question for most people, but just do your best to answer it. And you know, if you listen, it will happen. And Pluto's in a square with Mercury. So, you know, you might be a little challenged or something like that, but you should be able to work through it with a square. And the moon's in Virgo, so that's good.
Yeah, and it's trine its ruler in Mercury.
Right.
So it's should be a good conversation, a blessed conversation. It is opposite Saturn, so there could be some tension about structure.
That's later in the day, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, as it progresses in the afternoon, it'll start to be opposite exactly.
So if things were going to start to get challenging, it probably won't happen until Thursday afternoon. With the moon opposite Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturn opposition.
Yeah, and then plus some of the trines and stuff, and then the trine to Mercury would have also been over and all of that. So, yeah. So, but the good news is that we'll come into some more trines. So it looks like we have more trines on this day, Bright Hawk.
Yeah, they get even stronger. They get even more pronounced.
Well, hopefully, even though Saturn's in an opposition to Mars, to the moon, the trines will help work out any financial things because of Venus up there.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Well, the trine to Venus Uranus, that could be kind of delicious. That could be really sweet. Taurus, Venus in its ruler, you know, Taurus, Venus rules Taurus, and so of course, you know, it's very positive that way. Yeah, it could be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I try not to think of, I know they call Saturn a malefic, and that always sounds so scary because we have benefics and malefics, and it sounds almost menacing, you know, malefic. But I try to think of Saturn as helping us be very clear about structure, what's required, what's needed, about work. Are we getting our work done? Are we doing what we need to do? That kind of thing. So,
well, Saturn's in your house of fun, so it's right on the edge of her house of fun and work.
What can I say?
It's 6th house.
Service, being of service is fun to me. That's like one of my.
It is.
I know I'm here to be of service. So.
And it's okay. My Saturn's at the top of my chart, so I usually like Saturn topics too. So yeah. So so Saturn's not always bad. I would agree with you there. Brett. Yeah. So you know, and it's in Pisces. Saturn there is in Pisces. So, so I'm just saying.
Just saying.
That's like your emotional foundation. So if you find yourself working on your emotions, where they came from and where they're going, that's been going on for a long time now. So, and that will continue to carry on. Oh, look, we have a grand trine on Saturday.
There
with
it
a
is.
Kite.
There it is.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's a real blessing right there.
Right.
What I see there is it's pointing towards Neptune, pulling on the moon. So really, you know, not over engaging in your emotions, especially in relation to relationships, and more engaging on your vision. That's what's going to pull your kite forward, and, you know, lighting up all those points, you know, transforming in whatever ways that you vision for yourself that you've probably been working on all week, because it's that same minor trine. A kite is essentially a minor trine with a minor trine with a a minor trine with a major trine. Does that make sense?
Well, and I just want to say, and this is a grand trine in air, so all air signs are gonna light up, and of course our air signs are Gemini, Libra, in Aquarius. And and air, when we think of air signs, we think of thinkers, deep consideration, thinking. And this is one of those skies where I feel like careful what you think about, because think about good things, enrich your mind, and be willing to dream big, because that's how you make your dreams come true, is by being willing to imagine and then giving it up to the universe and saying, this or better. And yeah, powerful. Grand trines are all about seeing big, thinking big, believing, aspiring.
Well, I wonder what it has to do with manifestation, since, Jupiter's not quite in Gemini yet, and it's just based on the orb. So if you don't know what an orb is, so you can see there where Jupiter is, it's at 28 degrees Taurus, which is actually an earth sign, which is the one of the tips of the grand trine. The reason it counts, usually grand trines are all in one sign, but what's happening there is Jupiter is just 2 degrees away from being in Gemini. It will go in later this, I think it's next week actually, after this. And so as it approaches 30 degrees, which that's the maximum for each signs, each zodiac has 30 degrees in it. So it's at 28. So you can see it only has 2 more degrees. And so it's just a few more days, probably a week-ish, like 4 or 5 days or something. And then it will move over into Gemini. And so what's actually happening there is whatever your manifestation, whatever you've been manifesting, whatever beautiful luxuries you've been dealing with, now it's going to move over into Gemini, which is very much about, like what Brighthawk was saying, is like thinking and a lot about your thoughts and stuff like that. So I wonder how that's coming from manifestation and luxuries and beauty and what you love and all of that that's been happening all week from Mercury and then moving into Gemini.
Well, and I think if I remember Nadia Shah pointing out, Sun conjunct Jupiter at 28 degrees is considered one of the luckiest days of the year.
Oh, yeah, she's always doing the luckiest.
She's always doing that. I'm never, it's all new to me on that one. I don't really.
I can see how she could say that, because the sun amplifies, and Jupiter's supposed to be a lucky planet, and it's in Taurus anyway. So. Yeah, so it could be a really great day, frankly.
Yeah.
I would say because it's got 2 trines. It's got a grand trine and a minor trine.
And then we have a very mild, and this is one of those times where I was like, wow, this is going to be really quick. The moon goes into Virgo. It's void for just an hour and a half, kind of like what we've been seeing a lot of. And it's, while probably most folks are asleep. And then it goes into Libra. And of course, when it goes from Virgo into Libra, we're going from a mutable earth sign, Virgo, ruled by Mercury, into Libra, which is cardinal air. Libra begins the season. Remember, the cardinals are all the things that begin the season. So Libra is cardinal air, and it's ruled by Venus. So the moon is answering to Venus. And now it's in an opposition to Neptune. Right?
Yeah, I was seeing that, and I was also looking at how
Libra, opposite,
and the moon's in conjunct Mercury. So some psychics might have a hard time, but if you're very if you're moon-based psychic, so your moon is very strong, and that's where it works, then you'll probably be okay. But if you're a Neptune-based psychic, it could be challenging.
Oh, interesting. I always find that fascinating.
It could be a little challenging, just because Neptune's opposite the moon. So that's all.
Right.
Saturday, May 18th. Okay. So. Okay. And then I think you told me when we were talking about this, that Sunday all day, the moon is void.
So,
right?
yeah, so this was one of those. We had a void moon on Saturday,
So
and
I
then
won't be
I'm
doing any
looking at
readings on this
on
day.
Sunday, and I was like, "Are you serious? That's such a short period of time between in Libra, and it just felt like it suddenly went much faster." And it's going to be opposite the crowd that is Mars, North Node, and Chiron. And it's going to go void at 9:48 in the morning on Sunday the 19th. And it goes all the way until 4:30 in the afternoon on May 20th. This is the longest void of course moon I've ever seen, because I've just started doing this. So I was like, wow. And remember, it's the void of course moon, when it takes these gaps, the energy is going to be really different. So I'd love to know in the comments, if you're noticing, now that we've been talking about it, how your day goes. Like, did you realize that if you could take a chill day on Sunday, Monday, that you would? Or move that meeting, or change that whatever, so that you can just kind of be, what is self-care for me today? And how to, I'm just really curious if folks want to share if they've noticed anything about these void moons.
And if you are a medium, Pluto's in a square to Mercury, so that's channeling the dead. The moon, which is often very strong in mediums charts, but not all the time, but a lot of the times, is going to be void. So, maybe you want to take Sunday off, don't do any readings. That's all.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Tuesday.
Yeah, do them Tuesday. Do them earlier
Tuesday.
in the
Like,
week.
Have a different weekend. If you can make your weekend Sunday, Monday, maybe do that.
Yeah, exactly. May 19th and 20th, yeah. Just
kind of wild. I trust me, folks, I quadruple checked that one, because I just wasn't sure I was reading things correctly. I was like, is that for, so I had two different websites now that I double check the void of course moon and go, oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. So interesting stuff.
All right.
And hopefully that helps you navigate it, which days are going to be a little easier and which ones might
Sounds
feel
like most of the week could be pretty good. It's just, Saturday, Sunday might be a little bit more challenging. Yeah. So how about you, LeKross? You got anything to share?
I was still in Beaver, and I was just jotting some notes down, and how this might, like, it's like the beginning of the week, it's like go, 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 and then it's like stop, then go, 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 stop, and I'm seeing a lot of like stop and go. And actually the Beaver is also supposed to teach us balance, because they have a tendency of going, 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 and they don't stop. They'll just keep working and working and working and working, and don't take the time. Like, they're so focused and so persevering that even if things are falling apart around them, they're just still too busy building. They're like, I'm making the dam. I'm making the dam. I'm making the dam. Oh, it washed away. Well, I'm making the dam, and they don't rest. They don't really rest. So I think this stop and go energy is when you got to really realize, okay, know when to stop, know when to slow down, and balance your quiet time, balance your work time, balance your family time, and really realize what day is going to work for what, and use that void moon to stop and think and what's really important. So yeah, but it looked like a lot of stop and go this week, and I'm just like, oh no, okay, no Beaver, no, wait, it's the Beaver, but beavers don't sit still, and there's a lot of void this week. So
there is, yeah, strong, longer voids, like longer periods of time, yeah,
exactly. And I was thinking, I grew up with a family tradition where my mom would frequently have Sunday night dinners, and now that I see these void of course moons, I was like, oh, that would have been a perfect thing for that Sunday night. Those Sunday night dinners, no drama instead of all drama.
right. Right.
Can't count on on the moon being void every Sunday night for sure not.
That'd be priceless. I like to sit there and look at the void moon as like pick my struggle, pick what I'm gonna put my energy into and what I'm not gonna put my energy into,
Yeah.
because it's a really good time to think and
Yes.
process.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. It's a great way to
Yeah.
look at it too.
Take some
Exactly.
resting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some rest. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna mark my calendar off Sunday, Monday. Just take those days off because it's a good idea.
Follow our own advice. Oh.
Yeah, shoot, yeah. Because almost every time when I have trouble with the reading, I'll look at my astrology and go,
I should have known
Mm.
that.
don't. Because my moon is quite strong in my readings. That's kind of what I'm using. And I think, Bread Hawk, you said that void of course moon is in Libra. Yeah. And I have a Libra moon. So, yeah.
Yeah, like the last half of it traveling
don't
through
do it.
Libra is like
So I think it's actually really great because I have a flexible schedule, and sometimes I tend to overwork like the beaver, and I don't know when to take a break. So I've kind of been like, oh, so take a break while the moon is void.
that's what I'm trying to help folks understand.
Yeah. So
Including us. We're all learning.
right. So I'm gonna pull. Wait a minute. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm going to reshuffle them. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and that's really strange.
Okay.
Because I just pulled the same 3 cards that I think I pulled last week.
No
so
way.
It can't be shuffled or something. And I've done a reading since then, so that's why I'm really confused. But whatever. So I'm just going to shuffle them again, and if they're meant to fall again, then they'll fall again. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from this Love is Love Pride deck, and, you can find this deck on Amazon if you want. And, well, look at that. So the first card is, let's just pin it up. So this has a lot to do with where you came from and your past, and I'm like laughing because it's the 4 of Pentacles. Talk about a Taurus card. This is very Taurian card. This is about all the resources we have and how we're using them and how we present them to the world, how we hold on to them, how we save them. Taurus is really good at saving. They're really good at holding on to things, period, regardless of what it is. So that's exactly what this is about. This is about the resources you've saved, held on to, things like that, especially in relation to your past. So this is a really important card because it's reminding you that you've saved. You've done something to save money. Congratulations. Good job. Okay? And then we move on to the here and now, which is one of my favorite cards, which I'm pretty sure I had this card last week. It's the Queen of Cups. And yeah, so she fell again. This is now the second time she fell today. And it's okay. The Queen of Cups is a really cool card. I love this card. And it's very much about, check it out. Look, they get, they, on their hand, hopefully it comes into focus. On their hand is a bird. You can kind of make it out even in the blur here. It's a pigeon. And pigeons are known for delivering messages, right? So this is very much about the messages of spirit being delivered to this queer person on a rock in the water, and also having other things served to them, cups of coffee, energy, having their luxuries, their treasure, and having all the beauty around them. This is a very Taurian card too, frankly. This is the Queen of Cups, and this is the master. They are the master of their emotions and really good at mastering their emotions. So that's what makes this card really powerful, because it's not just about hearing messages and having all your needs met and all of that, but it's also about owning your emotions and being good at managing and balancing them, okay? Even if you are using your resources. So that's okay. And the interesting thing is is that's in the here and now. Yet going forward, kind of makes me think about like that void of course moon, frankly. The sky is very black or white, very this person is adventurous and stuff, but taking a break, and smoking a joint there, in case you didn't notice. They're totally smoking a big old joint there. And, they're in the desert, which if you've never driven across the desert before, it's pretty sparse. It's kind of like, don't fall asleep, okay? Because there's nothing in the horizon except for that little castle thing, right? And you see the castle thing slowly move, and you're like, don't fall asleep, it's just the castle thing. And then if you stop, there's no shade. It's just the sun just beating down on you. And pretty much this person is very black or white, good or bad, and seeing the world black or white. So this is also the King of Wands. And so this is about our intentions and our thoughts going forward. So you might just need to really get in touch, take a rest, and do like LeKross was saying, and take some time to really think about what you want, to really contemplate what's important to you, what you value, what is beautiful to you, especially during that void of course moon, because this would make sense, because this is sort of in the future coming, right? Okay. And so again, this week begins with an honoring of your resources and what you've saved and how you've used and saved those resources, and that's great. And going forward, learning how to manage your emotions and balance things, even if you are using your resources, that's okay. You're supposed to. That's what they're for. And to support you as you're going forward. And as you're going forward, you might need to take a little break. Take a little break on the side of the road there. Smoke a big J if you want. Hang out in the sunshine. Pull your motorcycle over. Take a rest. Try not to go to sleep. But this is the King of Wands, about stopping, thinking, and thinking through your intentions. And that's pretty much what that's about there. So pretty much follows the forecast too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always seems to.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated how the tarot and the astrology speak together.
Yeah. It's wild.
Absolutely.
Good reading. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we hope you have a great week. We appreciate your sharing and the comments that folks have been sharing. It's very sweet. I'm very grateful that we've had a number of folks say that they really appreciate the meditations and the music. So glad to be of service. And I hope that your week goes really, really well, and let us know how it's going. And if you have any questions about astrology, Hollis is very good at answering those things. Really, really good. And thanks for liking. All that stuff really helps. And
I just want to welcome Sandra Bright, who is a new subscriber. So I just want to welcome Sandra. Welcome, Sandra. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing this with your friends and recommending it to others. We totally appreciate you spreading the word around and commenting or sharing. And I'm always trying to keep on top of your comments and trying to reply as best I can.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's Soulstrology and subscribing, liking, sharing, and reviewing. We hope you enjoy this dose of Soulstrology and encourage you to embrace the week ahead with an open mind and heart so that you may integrate the deepest of lessons from the stars. Take a moment to step outside and honor the planets, stars, and moon in the sky with your heart. Integrate the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. We deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember that you are perfectly unique human with an exclusive star map of your destiny, your soul purpose, and your heart's desire. Thank you again for tuning in to Rainbow Soul.